There's no hiding that African American athletes are prominent in major sports around the nation. In the 1800s, people formed many various generalizations to understand their athletic abilities of African Americans. Now, instead of making generalizations, people have shifted towards drug testing in hopes of finding the answer to their athletic ability. Recently, many talented African American athletes are getting drug tested more frequently than talented white athletes.
In the late 1800s, it was thought that blacks were inferior in all aspects. It was later believed that black athletes had an advantage in sports. As you heard before in class from Professor Harrison, Frederick Lewis Allen believed that blacks were, quote, well fitted emotionally for the sort of brief, terrific effort which sprints and jumps required, end quote. And Albert McGall thought black sprinters had an advantage over white sprinters due to an elongated heel bone which gives better leverage. Jimmy the Greek Snyder said that African Americans were bred to be bigger and more athletic since slavery. These people shared the same ideas that many others had at that time. They believed African Americans were physically superior than others.
We and many African Americans feel like these African American athletes are being discriminated based on race. For example, Odell Beckham Jr. is seen as one of the most electrifying players in the NFL right now. Not only is he one of the most talented players in the league, but he is also a prominent social figure outside the sport. Due to his insane speed, astonishing catches, and record-breaking statistics, much speculation has cultivated regarding his talent. Recently, Odell tweeted about his experience at the training facility after a game this past weekend. Also, a picture surfaced of Odell Beckham laying in bed with a French model where a suspicious white powder was seen. Following the picture, Odell went through performance-enhancing drug tests multiple times. There is no explanation to implement a PED test for suspicious white powder. In fact, Odell and many others are viewing this incident as discrimination based on race/lifestyle to potentially prove that Odell is taking performance-enhancing drugs and to answer the question of his innate athletic abilities.
PEDs, at least on the field, performance enhancers on the football field, have nothing to do with that white powder unless you thought it was HGH, and you didn't even see him doing it anyway. No suggestion that it was his. That's number two. And if it's not that, if it's the white powder why he's getting tested, that's just stupid. That's a stupid policy.
Serena Williams has 23 Grand Slam titles and is no doubt one of the best tennis players anyone has ever seen. As of late July, the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency has tested Serena 5 times, which is more than double than her competitors and is also more than any of the top 5 U.S. men's players. On July 24, Serena tweeted out, "It's that time of the day to get randomly drug tested and only test Serena. Out of all the players, it's been proven I'm the one getting tested the most. Discrimination? I think so. At least I'll be keeping the sport clean. #StayPositive." This tweet shows some of the frustration Serena is feeling because of the unfair treatment she is going through.
Unbelievable.
The NFL Players Association is looking into allegations by Carolina Panthers safety Eric Reid that the NFL is targeting him with excessive drug testing. Reid has been randomly drug tested 5 times in 8 games since taking the initial drug test after he signed with the Panthers in late September. Reid said he has never failed a drug test to warrant so many tests, all for performance-enhancing drugs, and suggests it was because of his collusion grievances against the NFL after he was the first person to kneel with Colin Kaepernick over the Black Lives Matter movement. This has been a controversial topic for the NFL, and they mostly have not been supportive of the movement. These drug tests are examples of discrimination against Reid for his protests during league games. This shows that this treatment can stem not only from extremely talented athleticism, but also social views as well.
It is wrong to make assumptions of drug abuse solely based on race. Talented African American athletes are often faced with discrimination and questioning instead of appreciation and support for their athletic achievements. There is nothing wrong with drug testing. It is actually a requirement and a standard for all athletes to follow, and I think there should be a set number of drug tests to be taken randomly throughout the season that every athlete should take regardless of race, gender, or athletic ability. It is wrong to think that African American athletes' success is credited to taking drugs rather than to talent and effort, because I believe talent and effort are what makes athletes surpass their competition and truly successful.